Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to get to the bottom of something that's been driving a lot of developers nuts. Why does Google's Gemini AI feel so different depending on where you use it? We're going to clear up all that confusion and then dive into a brand new platform that might just change how you think about coding itself. Okay, let's just get right into it. Have you ever had this happen? You use the Gemini app on your phone, then you go into a developer tool, use the exact same prompt, and get a totally different and usually way better answer. Well, you're not going crazy. It's a real thing. There's a very specific reason for it, and once you get it, Google's whole AI strategy just clicks into place. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll untangle that whole confusing Gemini situation. Then we'll pit the two main models, Flash and Pro, against each other. The results are going to surprise you. After that, we'll introduce this wild new platform called Antigravity, break down how it works, and then, of course, talk about what it all costs. So, first things first, let's tackle the mystery head-on. Why does an AI model that's supposed to be the same thing act so differently across Google's own products? It doesn't seem to make sense, but there is a logic to it. The confusion really starts with the name. Gemini isn't one thing. It's a brand name that's slapped on at least 3 different things. You've got the actual AI models themselves, the brains. Then you've got the Gemini app, the chatbot. And then there's the Gemini API for developers. Oh, and Google AI Studio, the developer sandbox. Getting that these are all separate things is the first big step to understanding what's going on. And that brings us to the real secret sauce, the system prompt. You can think of this as a set of secret instructions that Google gives the AI before you even type a single word. It's like a director giving an actor notes before they go on stage. And here's the kicker. Those instructions are completely different depending on which version of Gemini you're talking to. So really, it boils down to 2 different worlds. In the AI studio, it's kind of the Wild West. Google gives developers the raw, unfiltered model with maximum control. But in the consumer app, it's a whole different story. That version is locked down for safety, tone, and to handle a gazillion users at once. That means it aggressively limits how much you can use it and even starts forgetting parts of your conversation to save power. And all of that just tanks the performance compared to the developer version. Okay, so that explains the why. Now for the what. Knowing that the environment matters, which of the actual models should you be building your apps with? The answer is not what you'd probably expect. Look, let me just save you some time. For pretty much any real-world app you're building, the answer is Gemini 3 Flash, not the bigger, more expensive Pro model. Seriously, unless you're doing hardcore academic research or need that gigantic 2 million token context, Flash gives you everything you need. It's incredibly smart, it's faster, and it's way, way cheaper. It's especially good for coding and for what's called agentic workflows, which is just a fancy way of saying you want the AI to go do stuff for you. And now for the part that just completely blew my mind. Check this out. On a benchmark that uses real-world coding problems from GitHub, Gemini Flash, the little brother model, actually beats Gemini Pro. Yeah, you heard me right. For coding, it's not just cheaper and faster, it's literally better. And when we talk about price, well, the difference is just staggering. At 50 cents per million input tokens, Flash is up to 8 times cheaper than Pro. And compared to GPT-4o from OpenAI, it's 10 times cheaper. This isn't just a small discount. This pricing completely changes the economics of what you can build. It makes large-scale AI features suddenly affordable. Okay, so we've established we have these super powerful and ridiculously cheap AI models. That's the engine. So what's the car you put it in? Well, Google's answer is something completely new, a platform they're calling Antigravity. I love this quote from their announcement, evolving the IDE into the agent-first era. What does that really mean? It means we're moving past the AI just giving you autocomplete suggestions. This is about handing over entire tasks to autonomous AI agents and letting them run with it. And that means your job fundamentally changes. Think about it. With the old tools, you're the programmer, and the AI is just a fancy hammer. In the world of anti-gravity, the AI agents are the programmers. You become the engineering manager. Your job is to set the goals and orchestrate the work. It's a massive shift in thinking. So this all sounds cool, maybe a little sci-fi, but how does it actually work? I mean, how do you manage a team of AI agents without either micromanaging them or just blindly trusting that they're doing the right thing? Well, the process is actually pretty smart because it's set up just like you'd manage a human team. You've got this dashboard called Mission Control, and that's where you give the high-level goals. The agents then go off, make a plan, and start working. But, and this is the most important part, they have to produce actual proof that they did the work, which you then review. And this proof is what Google calls artifacts. Honestly, this is the magic ingredient that makes the whole thing work. It's designed to solve the trust gap. You know, that nagging feeling of, did this black box AI actually do what I asked it to do? Instead of just dumping code on you, the agent gives you tangible deliverables. And these artifacts are seriously cool. We're not talking about boring log files. They can be implementation plans, code diffs, even screenshots of the UI changes the agent made. My favorite, though, is that it can generate actual browser recordings, a video of the agent using your web app to prove that the feature works. It's concrete, undeniable proof. So, an autonomous team of AI agents working for you around the clock, it sounds incredible. It also sounds like it would be incredibly expensive. So for our last section, let's get practical and talk about the bottom line. What's the price tag on all this intelligence?
First, let's just remember what's fueling this whole system. The underlying model for most of this work is Gemini 3 Flash. And at just 50 cents for a million input tokens, the cost of actually running these agents is just shockingly low.
Now, if you do need to bring in the big guns Gemini Pro for a really complex reasoning task, the cost does go up. But even at its most expensive, $4 per million tokens is still less than what you'd pay for a lot of the other top-tier models on the market. And what about the Antigravity platform itself, the mission control dashboard? Well, the great news is that you can get in and start playing with it right now for free in the public preview. The free tier is kind of like having one AI intern. Google has said they'll launch paid tiers later that will let you run a whole team of agents at once, plus all the usual enterprise stuff. And that really brings us to the final big thought. When you look at tools like Antigravity, it's hard not to wonder if the whole job of being a developer is about to change. Maybe the most valuable skill in the future won't be writing perfect code, but being a great manager of code-writing AIs. It's a huge shift, and the real question isn't if it's coming, it's are you ready for it?